Good evening. Usually I talk with you from my office in the West Wing of the White House, but tonight there's something special to talk about, and I've asked someone very special to join me. Nancy and I are here in the West Hall of the White House, and around us are the rooms in which we live. It's the home you've provided for us, of which we merely have temporary custody. Nancy's joining me because the message this evening is not my message, but ours. And we speak to you not simply as fellow citizens, but as fellow parents and grandparents and as concerned neighbors. It's back to school time for America's children, and while drug and alcohol abuse cuts across all generations, it's especially damaging to the young people on whom our future depends. So tonight, from our family to yours, from our home to yours, thank you for joining us. America has accomplished so much in these last few years, whether it's been rebuilding our economy or serving the cause of freedom in the world. What we've been able to achieve has been done with your help, with us working together as a nation united. Now we need your support again. Drugs are menacing our society. They're threatening our values and undercutting our institutions. They're killing our children. From the beginning of our administration, we've taken strong steps to do something about this horror. Tonight, I can report to you that we've made much progress. 37 federal agencies are working together in a vigorous national effort. And by next year, our spending for drug law enforcement will have more than tripled from its 1981 levels. We have increased seizures of illegal drugs. Shortages of marijuana are now being reported. Last year alone, over 10,000 drug criminals were convicted, and nearly $250 million of their assets were seized by the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration. And in the most important area, individual use, we see progress. In 4 years, the number of high school seniors using marijuana on a daily basis has dropped from 1 in 14 to 1 in 20. The U.S. military has cut the use of illegal drugs among its personnel by 67% since 1980. These are a measure of our commitment and emerging signs that we can defeat this enemy. But we still have much to do. Despite our best efforts, illegal cocaine is coming into our country at alarming levels, and 4 to 5 million people regularly use it. 500,000 Americans are hooked on heroin. 1 in 12 persons smokes marijuana regularly. Regular drug use is even higher among the age group 18 to 25, most likely just entering the workforce. Today, there's a new epidemic, smokable cocaine, otherwise known as crack. It is an explosively destructive and often lethal substance which is crushing its users. It is an uncontrolled fire. And drug abuse is not a so-called victimless crime. Everyone's safety is at stake when drugs and excessive alcohol are used by people on the highways or by those transporting our citizens or operating industrial equipment. Drug abuse costs you and your fellow Americans at least $60 billion a year. From the early days of our administration, Nancy has been intensely involved in the effort to fight drug abuse.
I'm especially concerned about what drugs are doing to young mothers and their newborn children. Listen to this news account from a hospital in Florida of a child born to a mother with a cocaine habit. Nearby, a baby named Paul lies motionless in an incubator, feeding tubes riddling his tiny body. He needs a respirator to breathe and a daily spinal tap to relieve fluid buildup on his brain. Only 1 month old, he's already suffered 2 strokes. Now you can see why drug abuse concerns every one of us, all the American family. Drugs steal away so much. They take and take until finally, every time a drug goes into a child, something else is forced out, like love and hope and trust and confidence. Drugs take away the dream from every child's heart and replace it with a nightmare. And it's time we in America stand up and replace those dreams. Each of us has to put our principles and consciences on the line, whether in social settings or in the workplace, to set forth solid standards and stick to them. There's no moral middle ground. Indifference is not an option. We want you to help us create an outspoken intolerance for drug use. For the sake of our children, I implore each of you to be unyielding and inflexible in your opposition to drugs.
Hi. Welcome, everybody, to our Fuck Ronald Reagan special. We are kicking off all the 420 shows here at the PAC, and I have some awesome friends here. So if anybody wants, let's just go around and introduce ourselves. If you got anything you want to say about Reagan, one thought, what you know, go for it.
Hi, I'm Michael. I co-host Animal Crossing Improv with Allie. Fuck Ronald Reagan. And fuck him for destabilizing Nicaragua, amongst other places.
Amongst others.
That's a good one. My fuck Ronald Reagan is thank you so much for unlinking productivity from pay so that we could have the levels of wealth inequality that we experience today that are completely unsustainable and worse than they were before the French Revolution and pretty much any society that hasn't decapitated its leaders.
Yeah. I like this Thanksgiving style of like going around and everybody just giving their fuck Ronald Reagan.
Everybody who doesn't know, Molly is my cousin, so we
have
holidays together. Beautiful
right, we share
premiere.
So my name's Molly. Fuck Ronald Reagan. I'm gonna piggyback on Allison's because his like pursuit. His violent pursuit of capital in every country and his like worship of whiteness in the pursuit of capital is untouched. He dedicated an entire lifetime to that. So we have him to thank for that. Big fuck Ronald Reagan.
Great.
I'm Jared Palmer. I will be vehemently defending Ronald Reagan today. Instead of saying fuck Ronald Reagan, I'm going to say fucked Ronald Reagan. His wife fucked him, and she was famously a studio fuck girl, which meant that she used to get passed around by the studios.
A fluffer.
To fuck the studio, to fuck the men. And that's why I think it is hilariously ironic that she was so anti-sex, basically.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Hannah. Don't know anything about Ronald Reagan. This is the first time I even saw a photo of him, and I will say he's kind of hot.
Okay.
He is a movie star. He is a movie star.
He was famous for being hot.
You're getting called out for your yacht vibes.
He's also an astronaut.
Somebody has to represent white male America. Okay.
Well,
thank you for having the balls to do it. It's
right. If you're gonna be defending Ronald Reagan, you better look exactly like that.
Yes. So we have some Ronald Reagan trivia. If you're in the chat, feel free to join. I think Michael knows the answer to this question because we talked about it yesterday, so he can answer.
Okay.
But here's our first question. Ronald Reagan had which nickname for his beloved wife, Nancy? His wife, Nancy.
Do we raise hands?
Yeah, I'd like to first hear from our Gen Z representative who doesn't know who Reagan is.
Okay. This is just a wild guess. This isn't a nick. This is like longer than her name, though.
Okay.
This is it. I think he called his wife Nancy with the laughing face.
That's pretty savage because we do still use the laughing face and you guys use the dead face. All right, up here. Molly, do you know it?
That's the.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know it, but I'm gonna go with Ava.
Okay.
Like
Like
Ava
Braun.
Braun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like Braun?
Braun.
Classic.
Uh,
Molly, what you got?
Somebody suggested Nipple Nancy, which I do.
Oh.
Nipple Nancy is a great suggestion.
I feel like it would be something just atrocious and like
Yes.
really
Yes.
uncomfortable.
Yes.
Like
You're
in
really
the Mike
close.
Pence mother vein.
You're very close.
Really?
In there.
Is it like mommy or something?
It is mommy.
Oh man.
Yes.
Come on, Mommy.
Mommy. Mommy. Yeah.
What is that
Mommy?
about?
He called her mommy.
Do you think when he's like really upset, he goes, "Mom"?
No. When he's really upset, he just calls her Nancy. Like when you call your mom by her first name.
We do be doing that. Yeah, he called her mommy, and basically she was in charge of everything. And I was talking to a friend, Michelle, PAC friend, who was telling us about how she had an astrologist who gave her all the answers, and then she gave him all the answers, and that's how the White House ran.
Astrology is not pro-capitalism. They were not using astrology.
There's a lot of Capricorn in those readings.
People have lied in this world.
Do you think it's better or worse that Mike Pence calls his wife mother?
Worse. Mother is worse.
Yeah, mother.
Because if you call a guy daddy, but if you call him father,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I think mother is worse because I think mommy is worse because you're already at the point of calling them mother, and then you are so familiar that you go past that to mommy.
But what if it's the Puerto Rican way, MAMI, hey mommy?
Just Ronald Reagan walking around with a pina colada. Hey mommy.
I mean, I'm cool with that.
That's a much different vibe.
It came all the way back to being hot again.
Some people just like to have a lady on top, and I think that's Reagan's vibes.
I think but he didn't want us to have it.
No, he wanted it privately, and then not for the rest of the world. I
think your mommy MAMI card is revoked when you fund the Nicaraguan Contras. You know what I mean? That's a
you guys know a lot
penalty.
about Reagan. Wait, I have a question about Reagan.
Yeah.
If it's whether every one of his rooms had giant jars of jelly beans.
Okay, hold on. Now we have to skip to Jarrett. One second.
No. Hannah can go back.
Hannah should ask her question, but I'm just going to add the next question for the chat.
Okay, my question is, when was he president?
81 to 89.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a long time.
It was, and he ran with George H.W. Bush, so it went Nixon, Reagan, and then the Bush era. So they were all. It was a whole bunch of Republicans for a long time.
Who was born?
Carter in between.
Who was conceived under the Reagan banner?
Reagan's
so
my
all of
first
our parents
president.
fucked under Reagan.
Yeah.
Oh, we have not, Florida Man Gamer. If you would love to talk shit about Ayn Rand, the lying piece of shit who went back on her every word before her death because she is such a liar. Anyway, favorite jelly bean flavor? Anybody got an idea?
So I have a guess.
Okay.
I think it's the worst one. I think it's the black licorice. Is that true?
Michael, how dare you?
Is the black licorice a popular one in this chat? Sorry, Hannah.
I just love black licorice.
What you got?
Okay, I think he's silly and he likes the gross ones. Did those even exist back then?
No, that was Harry Potter. Those didn't
it's
exist.
not Birdie Bots.
Those didn't exist before Harry Potter. We just had normal stuff.
Oh, okay. So it's not.
You all are also polite.
Harry Potter did take place in the early 90s. Therefore,
that's true.
I'm going to say
also a
that
person who seems charming, but is a fucking asshole
and a cop.
Yep.
I'm going to say his favorite flavor was earwax from Harry Potter because of the time period.
Oh, Grendelson, if you know what gross flavors there were before Harry Potter, let me know because I did not know. Okay, are you? Any thoughts? Last guesses?
I think So when I ate jelly beans, this was my favorite, which is why I think it's deranged because like normal people don't like it. The buttered popcorn flavor.
Yeah. I still don't think that existed, did it?
I don't think that existed in the 80s. Did it?
Absolutely. That's like a Jelly Belly flavor.
I don't know. Did Jelly Belly exist?
Oh wait, are we speaking Jelly Bellies or just jelly beans? Like grocery store jelly beans? Or
I think like grocery store jelly beans.
I think he was having Jelly Bellies. He was the damn president.
Did they have jelly? I don't know. Allison, you.
I think he liked basic, like green jelly beans, like that. There was like only like one flavor, and then there was black.
Right. Right.
Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah, I'm pumped. Yes.
The black.
Michael.
Boom, 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 boom.
It's the grossest. It's the grossest one.
I
Sorry,
love black licorice. I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well,
That's-
you're
Me and
real.
Reagan.
It's the only black thing he likes. Am I right?
I
guys?
finally.
Yeah, for real. Well, Nancy Reagan did appear on an episode of Different Strokes.
Back in her studio.
Well, oh wow. Okay, we got a whole.
Oh boy, a whole Jelly Belly rant.
Usually made the
Oh.
inspired blueberry flavor.
Okay.
Oh wow.
That makes
And guess
sense.
what? What, Gennelson?
Wait, what happened at the end?
Oh,
You
okay.
ended on a
well,
guess what?
well, there's more. Number one is also
Whoa.
the first jelly bean in outer space.
Hmm.
Wow, amazing.
Did
Wait, was
those
on the
beans,
Challenger?
did
So
those
that-
beans get up in the instruments?
I don't know.
yeah, maybe those jelly beans got all jellied in the machines on the Challenger, and that's why I never actually made it up there.
It was sabotage. Just a quick space race fact for you. They had jelly beans on the same rocket that they asked Sally Ride if she needed 100 tampons for 7 days. That's where our
also,
priorities are.
I don't
Hilarious.
know, but sometimes I need 100 tampons for 7 days.
That's true.
Look, it turns out she didn't need any.
So
So there's that. They also
There was
have a lot
Jelly
of
Bellies.
trouble. I would like to play a clip of something that I think all of us will know, but I don't think Hannah will have seen this. And then I'm going to do a live thing for y'all, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to play just so people understand what the drug culture was like. You know, they started the war on drugs, okay? This is an ad that came out during that time, very famous.
Is there anyone out there who still isn't clear about what doing drugs does? Okay, last time. This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
What fucking clowns. Okay, so I have a live experiment happening now where we will see a brain on drugs. So hang on. Here we go. There she is. There she is. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear
Okay,
you.
that dog's name is Drugs, and we're going to see what your brain is like on drugs.
Oh God.
Is that a hard boiled egg? What is
Oh no,
that?
that is a raw egg, everybody. That egg is raw.
so far
Honestly-
this is my brain on like a nice joint. Just
So
being
far.
rolled
Honestly,
around.
I feel like I've done this before while on salvia.
Oh.
So
Here we go. Your brain.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
oh God.
Oh.
Oh, drugs, no.
No, drugs.
No,
Give
drugs.
me back.
Drugs won't stop. Drugs? Drugs, we got a test to take tomorrow, Drugs.
Drugs.
Drugs, my kids are at home hungry.
That lick.
Look at
Drugs, that's where
that.
my memories go.
This was a good idea.
I'm never gonna do drugs now.
Hannah, had you ever seen that ad?
I have not, but I will say I love how progressive it is that a man is in the kitchen.
Hey,
Right?
that's the only time they went was to tell us how to live our lives.
That was the like Reagan era version of we grew up with that pot commercial of Sarah on the couch who's just like paper thin and can't move.
Oh.
Do we all remember that?
I remember her.
I
Yeah.
feel like when I grew up, we didn't have commercials like that. I feel like
That's because it's all TikTok.
That's because we raised you.
You had the like cigarette commercials, right? The like don't
yeah,
smoke. This
we
is
had
your
like
mug.
we had like the throat like this is what happens when you smoke a cigarette, and then she like smokes a cigarette out of her throat hole.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
There was also that oh, I can remember that actress from She's All That. No, come
Rachel
on,
Lee
she
Cook?
did Rachel Lee Cook.
She did
there's
one
the
of
movie.
that's
these
right.
that was very aggressive.
Very
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah. Well, so drugs is doing what it does.
Drugs did it. Drugs ate that brain pretty quick.
I kind of
Also,
thought it would look
pretty
different.
gently.
Give drugs a
Good job,
pen.
drugs.
Yeah, keep
That's
track
drugs
of
for us.
that. There's-
Yeah, love on drugs.
Good drugs.
Oh, that's true. There is one where the dog is like sad because you're on drugs.
Yes, I remember that one.
Oh wow, Grandolson, that's true. They're toasted. Delicious, right? Kids need to have more time with drugs. Yeah.
I mean, drugs is a man's best friend.
Look, we've got a whole night of this. Good job, drugs. Look at her go. Wow.
So determined.
Mm-hmm.
For my 16th birthday, I tried to convince my parents to buy me weed because it was legal in Colorado. And my argument was, you don't want me getting street weed if I'm going to have any weed. Wouldn't you want to buy it for me? And they did not like that.
They're like, go find some street weed, you nerd.
Yeah. So little did they know I was scared to find street weed.
Of course you were. We used to, it came in different measurements. It was a whole different world.
Yeah, you buy a dub for a 20, and now I don't even know how I could find a dub these days.
To this day, if I had to just go out into the world and buy weed, not at a store, I would have no idea
Not a clue.
what to even call it, what to pay for it.
Not a clue.
I think I will say this. I do think that there's some people at this theater that I might ask. I think that would be my approach.
Yeah,
I feel like the tack would come through for me.
I think that's fair. Having only been there once. I
Thanks,
think that's fair.
drugs. Buy drugs. You did
Thanks,
such a good job.
Drugs.
We
Thanks,
love
drugs.
God,
Yay.
I already
So-
missed drugs.
We're all gonna miss drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Who wouldn't? Okay, are you guys ready for another Reagan fact?
Oh yeah.
Okay, wow,
Let's really put Jared to the test because we need some hot Reagan defense coming in here.
Well, I think he knows this one, so I'm actually going to ban him from discussing this one as well. He can go last. What kind of animal almost murdered Ronald Reagan on set?
Oh,
Jarrett, you
I feel like I've heard about this before.
Elephants.
I have a guess because I know he's in a very famous movie with a very specific animal.
Okay.
Well, he's
you there.
okay.
Anyone?
Oh, any movie that he's in. I'm gonna guess. I'm really only guessing this because this animal was in the show Friends, which has nothing to do with Ronald Reagan. But
You just feel like he impacted society so
at
much.
least he's old enough to know what Friends is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got. Yeah, it also has a second life on Netflix. So
I'm gonna
That's
guess monkey.
Okay. We got a lot of elephant in the chat. This is actually going to be a visual answer.
Now I know where Bonzo gets his bad habits. You'd better get started on your orange juice. Vacation's over and you've got a lecture at 9.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, Jane, I reloaded the camera. Remember, keep on taking pictures of anything unusual Bonzo does, huh?
Mm-hmm.
the matter with him?
Maybe he thinks you're getting more attention than he is.
An Oedipus complex already? I've only been his father for a week.
I think he's just plain hungry. Oh, Bonzo, eat your pablum like a good boy, and pretty soon you'll grow up to be a big, strong, handsome man just like your daddy. Then you'll have Swedish pancake, too.
That's outright bribery. Bonzo!
Professor Boyd, Bonzo, that wasn't a nice thing to do.
Bonzo!
Don't scold him, he didn't mean it.
Well, that's beside the point. Aggressiveness like that could become an aberration.
Aggressiveness, aberration, Oedipus complex. What kind of way is that to talk to a baby?
Well, what do you mean?
Why don't you act more like his father instead of like a school teacher?
I guess I have got a lot to learn about being a father, haven't I?
You sure have, Professor Boyd.
So it said that the chimp was attracted to his tie and like straight up tried to choke him out, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
harder.
That was not a baby chimpanzee, and they will rip your face off. That's the thing.
So that's the thing I forgot about the 80s is that for whatever reason, like everyone was buying chimpanzees and trying to have experiments where they were like raised with human children and then they would get too big and too strong and it didn't work out. But like everyone was doing this somehow.
It was a big time for like inappropriately like domesticated chimp and dolphin research.
Yes, a lot of sexy dolphin LSD sex research.
And that was also too many Oedipus complex references for a chimpanzee.
Thank you. Yes, it was. But like, you know, it's all a metaphor.
They're like, haha, this chimp wants to fuck you. That's why he's throwing whipped cream at me. Anyway.
Right. Amazing. Ronald Reagan wouldn't even breastfeed a chimpanzee. That's true. I wish he would try. Sexy dolphin LSD research is a good one. Go for it. And guys, Venmo Pack for 20. We're trying to help out all the people that this stupid war on drugs, the lives that they have ruined. So, you know, let's do that. Right? Mm-hmm. All right.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Up next, by the way, is just a show about squid. So I have no idea, but it's very exciting. I think our own Hannah, Darren from your team, I think, is going to be on that show.
Oh, yeah, I think.
Okay. Well,
I do. What did you say?
Huh? Excuse me?
What? I do have a question about Reagan.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was in movies. This is more actually a question about King of the Hill.
Okay.
Okay. So the only thing I know about Reagan is that Hank Hill loved Ronald Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
And that made sense because I knew Hank was a Republican. But Hank hates Hollywood. And now I'm very confused why he loved Ronald Reagan since he hates Hollywood.
It's the Trump paradox.
He was the guy who like fought against liberal Hollywood. He was like famously like the guy who was like, take down those commies. I'm gonna destroy you, commies. Him and Disney.
Yeah.
But it's very Trump paradox because he was a Democrat.
Right.
And he was like, now I'm going to run for office and now I'm going to be racist. I mean,
so
he was always racist, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Reagan, Schwarzenegger, and Trump are all examples of this where they are like famous Hollywood people who have a lot of money and none of their policies will ever affect them. But they specifically target like working class conservative Americans and they make their whole platform like, I'm not like Hollywood liberals. I'm one of these Hollywood liberals, but I'm going to like work for you. And then they just cut taxes so that wealthy people stay wealthy. The middle class doesn't exist anymore. This is where Reaganomics comes from. This is where the war on drugs comes from. So they continue to live their cushy Hollywood rich liberal life, but they just run as a conservative.
But
he kind of invented the trickle down economics. Do you want to talk about how it's trickling down?
Don't you understand the option he's giving you? Simply, he's giving you the ability to become a billionaire. You just don't. fun in enough.
Is this how you afford the wallpaper in your studio?
The guy that I sold my yacht to paid by paying for hand painting my wall. This isn't even a baby's room. This is my sex dungeon that is themed.
We're just doing this, by the way, to show to your baby when it turns 5.
What was that?
When your baby turns 5, we're gonna save it. This whole thing. So just, because it's one of those days, I thought I would just remind everyone what kind of person this man was. So I'm going to just play a quick, probably. She is the boss. She's the boss. That might be true.
Like an angry communist boss, too.
No, she's a beautiful queen. Let's see. Okay, so let's just...
Last night, I tell you, to watch that thing on television as I did.
Yeah.
To see those monkeys from those African countries. Damn them, they're still uncomfortable wearing shoes.
Well, and then the tail wags the dog there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The tail wags the dog. I, for example, just had a call from Reagan, California, and he's been out there and so forth, and as you can imagine, there's strong feeling that we just shouldn't. As he said, he saw these cannibals on television last night, and he said they weren't even wearing shoes, and he says here the United States is going to submit its fate to that, and so forth and so on, and but that's typical of a reaction which is probably quite strong.
So
that's Reagan.
He was talking, just to be clear, about diplomats. He was not even random folks. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, America's response to Reagan was Bill Clinton? No.
Yeah, because
Bill Clinton is just watered down Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Well, George H.W. Bush, but Bill Clinton's just watered down Ronald Reagan. Sorry, everyone.
At the time, the vibe was very different, okay? So, there was, a police shooting, a kid had a wallet, and he got shot by the cops, and Bill Clinton went out and passed out, bright orange wallets. I mean, it seemed like he understood. At the time, okay, Big seemed, he's a piece of shit too. All these people helped make the war on drugs worse. It felt different. And that's why you can't go left, not liberal, because none of these people will help you.
Right. There was also this, I'll try and keep it short, but what a wild ride. Kind of complicating the whole Bush, Clinton, post-Reagan thing was this wacky Texan little teeny guy named Ross Perot.
Oh yeah, that did complicate it.
So he sounded like this, and he just said the craziest damn things all the time. And you could put a bobcat in a bucket, but you still don't have a bucket of water. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Andrew Yang, where he was like, let's just do some other weird stuff. It still is a little bit detached, but I don't know. So
right.
And he was the only thing that made him famous was that he hired mercenaries to go. It was like kidnap back people, his employees, right? That were kidnapped.
Yeah. Yes. You gotta let this squid show start. So final thoughts on Reagan.
Oh, sorry.
Lightning round. Go.
Fuck Reagan.
Fuck Reagan. He also funded the Mujahideen that became Al Qaeda, which bombed the World Trade Center.
Shukran Bazet.
He had buckets full of jelly beans, and he probably didn't realize it because he had Alzheimer's. And I heard that he once mailed an old woman $5 because she asked for money. So that evens out.
That's our lightning round. Hannah, wrap us up.
Fuck Reagan, but also fuck Reagan.
Okay, all right, Daddy, Mommy. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your kid. We're here all night.